See. Perfect. Welcome to this powerful conversation, Realtor Mastermind. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. And yes, this is officially the last quarter of the year. The last quarter. We're in the last quarter, less than 100 days. I don't know if you guys actually have thought about that, but it's less than 100 days. And if you start counting the holidays, I mean, you really start to shrink down the time of what you could do and what's possible for 2024. So the intention for all of you that are showing up and still plugging in is that the last quarter, honestly, for me, is the championship round. It's where you make the big difference. It's where you set yourself up for 2025. And one of the key conversations that I want to bring forward was building teams, because you will get to the point in your career, in your business, where you will have no more time left. And now you have other things that you're doing and you're generating a lot of business. And the next natural progression is to build a sales team. Hence the conversation for today, let's talk teams. And I brought forward three amazing panelists for you guys that are going to be sharing their principles, strategies, and things that they've done to really build their team. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the three panelists, and just so you guys get some context of who's in the room, okay? So the first panelist that we have is Mr. Jose Ojeda. He runs the Ojeda team, and he's in the Central Valley. The last 12 months production, 100 transactions, $45 million in volume. And he's also just qualified recently for a mega icon team. He's also recently a father. And he's doing it all, guys. He's doing it all. So congratulations, Jose. And we will get into, you sharing here shortly. But I just wanted to present our first panelist, okay? The second husband and wife couple that we have here, Mr. Moe and Maria Rosales out of Bakersfield, California. Not year to date, but last 12 months, $38 million in production, 110 transactions, 11 agents on their team. And also big wins. They're an EXP luxury, and they're continuing to expand in shifting markets. And every agent on their organization is winning with the buyer-broker agreement. That's one of their highlights of their team. So that's the home expansion team with Maria and Mo. Yes, let's give them a big round of applause. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And last but not least is Ms. Rocio Hemocillo. She's out of Des Moines, Iowa. Last 12 months production with her amazing team. 159 families impacted. Well, actually, this is year to date. 159 families year to date impacted. Actives and pendings. 21 million year to date with pendings. 8 agents on their team. 1 operations manager and a TC. Big wins. Recognizes top 100 teams by NAREP. Ranks top 5 within the state of Iowa within EXP. And their agents transact within 45 days of joining their training program, and fully bilingual team as well. So let's give a big round of applause for all of the panelists today. If you guys can see on the room, every single one of these top producing teams is crushing over 100 transactions. They're doing it right. They're doing something right. And remember this, guys, success leaves clues. And that's the intention of today, right? To extract their knowledge, their wisdom of what they've been able to do, and how they've been able to build a team. So the first panelist that I'm going to call up to the stage is Mr. Jose Ojeda. We're going to start off with you, brother. And you're going to have 12 minutes to share the sauce, man. I'm going to spotlight you right now. There we go. All right. So, and I prepared some questions, and, we might veer off here left and right a little bit, but, these are the questions, the context of what we're going to be creating. So the first question is, why did you start a team? When should someone start his team?
I love the question. I started a team for 2 reasons. One of them was, there was too many leads, but the other reason, and this is a true story, we were going to have a baby. And I'm like, I can't let go of production and business if I'm going to become a dad and, devote my time to that. That was literally my ticking, my time frame, or my timeline was, all right, we're going to have a baby in May. I built a team before that. And it was literally just, that was how it started, man.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that'll definitely do it, brother. Yeah, life is giving you a huge blessing, right? So you have to create some more leverage, some more time. So awesome, man. So congratulations on everything. So tell us a little bit about your structure. What does that look like as far as like staff, systems, like things like that, in that are, to how you've been able to build your team?
Yeah, so I mean, the structure, basic systems are we are all part of Follow Boss. So we have one Follow Boss account, it's a team account. Everything is kind of organized within Follow Boss, where we track our KPIs or key performance indicators that kind of tell us what we're doing in terms of how many leads are we getting, the conversion stats, and all that stuff. I have a full-time transaction manager slash listing manager. So she is on payroll under me. She is not an independent contractor, and then a full-time director of operations. So it was crazy to think that I was gonna hire on one full-time employee. Like that was just a huge shocker for me. But I was catching myself doing everything. So that was like a must. And then now to have a second employee where we're talking about, 100,000 in salaries, I was like, it's just crazy, man, to think that that's where I'm at right now. So that's our structure. We have team meetings every single Monday. We're doing a lot of quarterly events in person to build the culture up. We're doing a lot of in office days where we still get together during the day, and then after that, everybody kind of just does their own thing. And the team consists of agents from Merced County. I don't know if anybody's aware of like the map of California, if some people are not from here, but Merced is where the furthest agent is south, and the furthest agent north lives in San Jose, and we cover everything. And like this was done on purpose. When I built my business, I served 11 counties as a solo agent. Like I was on another, like in another world, just going crazy, trying to serve everybody and anybody. And when I did that, the business just didn't stop coming. So I purposely found agents in every single county that I can build. And that's kind of where we're at. So I have agents in Merced County, Stanislaus County, San Joaquin County, and then in San Jose.
I
So
love, I love it, bro. Congratulations. So you have a good staff. You've expanded, with your structure. And let me go back a little bit to your story because I missed that part. And I shared a little bit of your stats, right? But I wanted to, how long in the biz,
yeah.
and how did you what's your lead generation lever? How did you build the business? And then that prompted you obviously to build a team.
I'm actually really like proud of my story. And again, not to toot my own horn, but it's just something that I worked on. It's like my baby, and I think everybody can feel the same way that their business is like their baby. So for me, in 2018 was when I got my license. January 2nd was my first day in real estate. I joined Century 21 because I just thought like the name, and from there I just bounced 3 months later to another company where I felt more like at home. They welcomed me. There was a lot of trainings, and I was there for about 5 years. And within those 5 years at that company, I hit top producer year 3. And that was a cool milestone. My third year in the business, I did 83 transactions as a solo agent. That was like my peak. I don't want to do that again. I don't mind hitting the numbers. I don't want to spend all my life and all my time selling real estate because I didn't have a life. And again, to get super personal with you guys, I almost lost a lot of my relationships, including my actual relationship that I'm in right now. And that's something that I'm sure some of us can relate to it, that when we devote a lot of our time to the business, other things can suffer. And through maturing, and aging, and I'm 30 years old now, I've learned a lot, which, has taught me a lot. So that was my last company. Then, right place at the right time, I was going to switch brokerages, and EXP came in front of me, and I joined EXP, and I've been around an amazing network. Tons of opportunities opened up. And I started off with social media. That was my main thing. And I'll never forget where the idea sparked. I was at my parent, well, I say my parents' house because that's where it's at, but that's where I was living at. I was living there until we bought our home 3 years ago. And I was looking outside the window for some weird reason, and I was asking myself, I was like, why do we sometimes get fascinated looking at other people? Because the thought of reality TV for some reason just came to my mind as I was looking out the window.
Mm.
Like, let me document everything. That was my decision. I said, I'm going to document everything. Starting 2018, I'm just going to document my every single move, every single thing that I'm doing, open houses, the even working out, motivational talks, like anything and everything. I swear, since 2018, there was probably no more than like 2 or 3 days that I didn't go without posting. It was just like, that's all I ever did. And it was a snowball effect. people ask me, how are you getting all these leads from Instagram now? And I was like, it was 2 years in the making. Like I didn't see a crazy return on social media leads and turnover and conversion until about 2 years. From there, it was just building the followers, right? Like that was my goal. Numbers game. Build the followers. The more followers I get, the more potential clients I can get. That was my only focus was how can I go from 100 to five to 10 or 1,000. When I broke 1,000, I was like, this is crazy. I have the video of when I did the 1,000 follower giveaway. And that was what kind of just kicked it off. I was like, all right, let me just give away shit every time I hit a milestone. And now people want to see me get to that milestone because I give away stuff. And I just started making it my thing. And I still do that till this day. I've learned the most important thing is a lot of things that work to get you to where you're at right now. Those are the foundations of your business. Don't steer away from the bricks, right? Like when you're building those bricks, like those are the main things that are gonna keep you going. You're gonna make adjustments as you grow, but I still do giveaways, man. I still stay super true to my business model, and I get about last year. I think 2023 was the end of the crazy peak with social media leads because I started to purposefully transition to referrals. I was like, if I'm building a team and I'm still on social media, I'm still like devoting a lot of my time to like my phone. So then I was like, okay, let me just start going to referrals. At that point, last year, I had already done 350 transactions myself. And I asked, why am I not doing things with my past clients? There's 350 people that are potentially sellers, buyers that turn into sellers. And then like there's more business. And I got so busy, and that was the problem. I got so busy that I didn't see a lot of the other opportunities of building a business. It just passed me by because I was always generating new leads and new leads, but I got tired of that. I'm
Yeah.
still doing it. It's kind of like it's really nice to say that social media and Instagram is still giving me tons of referrals or both referrals and new business because it's just something that I built and I just keep posting. I do not stop every morning on my calendar. If you guys check today, I already posted on my story. I'm always posting every single day. It's on my to-do list. In order to win the day, I must post a social media post and that's it. But now again, it's pretty much all either referrals or past clients that I'm just doing more business with.
I love that, brother. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. I very, very, very inspiring, and I'm sure that everybody got a ton of value. And a lot of people also think I'm like, what do you have to do to build a team? I mean, look, you've been doing this for 6 years, 350, transactions, six,
7 years now. Yeah,
7 years
7 years.
now. Yeah, shaved off a year there, buddy. 7 years. seven
Great.
years, right? Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I know you got a little gray hair. 7 years, right? 7 years in the business. Built it up, built up social media, and I love like your strategy. Actually, I took away. We did a previous training, and you shared one strategy that I took away, and I actually implemented it right away, which was that welcoming a new follower. Right, that was one of the things that you said like, hey, this was one thing that I really did right. And I actually implemented that strategy. Every new follower, I send them over a new message, like a welcome message, right? So thank you for kudos for you for building up that platform. Now, you've then obviously now have built your family, and you're at this point where your team is now growing and expanding. And so share a little bit about, well, how did you attract, like, who, besides your staff that you already shared, how did you attract your team members, number one? And then, what kind of things would you say are very essential to run a very successful team?
Okay, let me write those two questions.
Yeah.
That way I don't forget. I attract and run a
All
success.
right. Perfect.
Perfect. So the attraction part honestly came from social media again, because I was producing a lot of people even before I joined the XP were always reaching out for advice. I would get a lot of messages from agents. How are you? Where are you at right now? And it was humbling, but it was nice when I would get messages of like, you're killing it, you're crushing it. I would like to be like you. And there was already things or people knocking at my door. And when I made the transition to EXP, I'm like, okay, like this could maybe be another platform for me to be able to provide more value and training to those. So what ended up happening is when I transitioned to EXP, I started getting to more, okay, let me train agents. And again, it wasn't until I got my coach was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're producing like crazy. Have you even thought of starting a team? I was like, no. And he brought it up, and then I was like, okay, perfect. I can start a team. I'm having a baby. If it works, like I should be free. Hell no. It's like, I'm gonna be honest, starting a team is one of the hardest things you can even fucking think about doing. Like, it sounds great. There's a reason there's not many of them. There's not hundreds and hundreds of teams. I mean, not where I'm from, at least. There's 4 teams, I think, here in my market. And I'm like, it's so crazy and it's so tough. But through social media, again, from providing value, and that's what it was. I provided value. I was very transparent, an open book. I did not hold secrets. I did the trainings every Wednesday. And from there, people just started reaching out. They're like, I want to learn more about you. And they would just tune in. When I started growing the team, I already had people that reached out. 4 of the agents, and this is the crazy part, 4 of the agents on my team currently, I had not even met in person before they even signed the team agreement because
Wow.
of the rapport that I just built with them, through social media, which was mind blowing. Again, this is super crazy. A couple of others I had to reach out to and just kind of spark the idea, but it was natural attraction through the value that I was providing on the Wednesday trainings and then just social media in general. Because, it's not just clients that follow you on social, it's also agents. And then from there, people just saw what I was doing. They would see all the sold posts and everything, and they would ask how, because people tend to do that. Sometimes in the beginning, when you're building anything, you might get a little bit of pushback or some doubt, which I think everybody does. And then after that, at the end, when you kind of prove yourself, then people ask how. And I feel like I was at that point where more and more were people asking, how did you do it? And I was like, perfect. Let me show you. Starting a team. And I just did an announcement. When I did the announcement, I had, a few people reach out. And then in order to run a successful team, man, it is very hard because you have different mindsets. Everybody's an independent contractor. Everybody runs their own business at the end of the day. You're the head of it. You want them to do things a certain way, but people have personal lives, man. They have, certain what do you call it? Certain things that they're willing to risk to grow in the business, and to find that median of what fits everything, it is very, very hard. So then, I tried doing one thing that was tailoring to every agent, and that did not work out because, again, what I was trying to provide wasn't value for the newer agents. And then from there, I'm like, shit, did I make a mistake hiring brand new agents? And then, my coach was like, no, you just need a mentor. And then I learned that whole role, and it's been a year and a half. I'm still adjusting the way things are looking. Thankfully, nobody in the team has left in the last, I don't know, 8, 10 months. Before that, when I was brand new, I had 3 people that just came in. One of them got super inspired and decided to start his own team afterwards. And
Yep.
that was a compliment. I was like, I did my job, man. I built you up.
Yep.
You know,
Exactly.
so again, you're in a vulnerable spot when you're a team lead, because to make people successful, you have to teach them everything. And when you teach them everything, it's gonna come to a time when people are gonna say, okay, let me go ahead and do my own thing. And that's the tough part, man. I'm learning not to be so emotionally attached to it. And that's when I'm just trying to learn different perspectives of like, this is my team, but this is not my life. My
Yes.
life is my health, my life is my family. And when I do that, I take a deep breath and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna focus on work when I focus on work, and when I have family time, I focus on that because it was just too much. I always wanted to work on the business, and it just defeated the purpose of a team because now I got busier, and I'm
Yes.
still fucking learning, man. I'm still learning on how to manage my life, but
Well,
I,
dude, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all that. Extremely, extremely, extremely valuable. Let's give Jose a big round of applause. We are at the top of the time allotted for Mr. Jose. We're gonna bring him back for Q&A at the end. But super valuable stuff, brother. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate your vulnerability and transparency with building a team, because I could definitely relate to everything you're saying.
Cool.
So
Thank
now
you.
we're going to go ahead with our next panelist. And this husband and wife team, let me go ahead and spotlight them. Are you guys ready? Mr. Moe and Maria. Let's give them a big round of applause. Let's give them a warm welcome.
Can you guys
Oh,
hear us, first of all? Yes, I think so. Yeah, we can hear.
yes. We
Good.
could definitely
Awesome.
hear you. We could definitely hear you.
Let's
Yes, 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 yes.
go. First of all, man, can we just give our time to Jose? I mean, that was amazing, to be honest, man. Like, as I'm listening to him, obviously a lot of memories, the struggles that he felt. We could feel the energy coming through that, and definitely qualities of a leader, qualities of a team lead, man. That I mean, literally, I'm here sitting like, man, like I remember those things, and it's tough. Yes, it's not for everybody.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
We'll start with that. Team leading is not for everybody. Mhm.
Yes. Hey, that's a nugget right there. Write that
There it
one
is.
down. Thank you guys for
Not everybody should have a team, even if you're a high producing agent. I'm telling you, it's not for everybody.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's a huge nugget. So welcome once again, man. Thank you both for your time. Really appreciate you guys, being open to this conversation. You guys are crushing it out in the Bakersfield market. So start off with a little bit of your story. We'll go over the story first. I think it's very important for people to understand how you guys started, where you guys went, and how this whole thing happened.
Well, I mean, the story is amazing. I think, like, just like anybody else, you get into this industry to make an income first, right? You come and say, hey, this is a life-changing opportunity to be able to generate money. So for us, I'm gonna be 100% honest. Yeah, we got into real estate because we wanted to make more income. That's number one. And getting into the industry for us, everything was solo. Nobody talked about teams, and so that was our first battle, getting into the industry was like talking team, Maria and I, husband and wife team, and using that word team wasn't as used or as popular it is now, right? Now, people are obviously more prone or more excited about joining the team versus back then when we first started this, everybody was against the entire team. Brokers, everybody was like, you don't want to join teams, you want to be a solo. This is why you left your companies, because you want to be your own boss, your own, all those. And I agree, we leave those things, right? However, though, those are the same things because of the same message. The reason why people can't come and perform in this industry is because we leave those things. So for us, Maria and I got into this. We come with over 21 years of experience in sales. Maria, is an HR degree major. She got into HR quickly after, college. I was in the fitness industry, started as a personal trainer, moved up the chain, from, managing, recruiting, training, developing trainers into the sales side, operations. And so we were very invested in our careers. However, Maria and I came to a crossroad where we're like, man, we're spending a lot of time in these businesses or in these corporate worlds, and there has to be more to life. It wasn't like there has to be more money, it has to be more to life, right? So Maria actually was the first one to initiate the process because she was going through her own process in HR, and we talked about what she wanted to do, and real estate was the one thing. So I was like, you know what, go kick it off, go get us going, and then eventually, yeah, I'll follow, because I was too invested in my career too. And so she got started right away. I think it was like 6 months, maybe 6 months. In that 6 month process, I started obviously, working on my license, and she said, hey, okay, if we're gonna do this, let's create a safety net, right? Let's have 6 months of reserves in our bank before you decide to quit, because once you leave, like, we're done, right? And actually, I even bought a home. I was her first client. I bought a home in that time. I was her first
Nice.
client. Yeah.
You were
And
my
Was he a nice
second
client?
client.
Maria,
oh, second client,
how
second
was he
client.
as a client though?
Good. He did everything I asked him.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And actually till this day, anytime we buy anything, she's the agent and I'm just the client. We separate that. But you know, and I started working on my license, bought my home, and I was like, okay, cool. We got 6 months of reserve. Like I said, if you could take anything, when you want anything in life and you put your head into it, you can accomplish whatever, right? We literally got our savings, to the 6 month mark like she wanted within 3 months.
Wow.
And then I looked at her and I was like, cool, hey, we said once we have the 6 month mark, like, I can quit, So I just went, did my resignation letter, hit that enter button, and I left. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure, I'm ready. Like, this is the plan. Like, what's up?
Well,
And and this was my confirmation. Ready? When I send that, resignation letter, obviously I get calls from my district managers, from the owners of the company, like, are you sure? Because I was a producer. I was one of the
yeah.
best I mean, I'm gonna say it humbly, but yes, I was one of the best in the damn company. I worked my ass off every day. Guys, I cleaned toilets. I was in the fitness industry. I was cleaning toilets. I was giving people an experience at the gym. I'm telling you. To this day, I walk into the gym, people are like, man, I remember when you worked here, man. It was the best time of my life. I was like, yeah, because I was here to give you guys an experience, right? So and I remember this, like, are you sure? And I remember talking to the owner, and he goes, why? He goes, what are you gonna do? I was like, well, my wife's already doing real estate. He's like, oh, you don't want your wife to make more money than you. I was like, what? No, that's not the case here. And then my other bosses were like, hey, are you sure? And I saw the fear in their face. That's what I saw. They didn't want a top producing, committed individual to leave.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
And at that moment, I realized, like, damn, I'm working hard to get to their position. If I just continue to do what I'm doing into this new adventure, I mean, the sky's the limit. So literally, I ended up joining Maria, like at the last quarter of the year. And I just put my head down and I went to work. And I think it was like 12 transactions in 3 months, you know, and literally FISBOs expires. Like I was just doing whatever everybody told me, you know.
Yes.
So and I say that because that's gonna be part of our lesson today. I say that because I just did what people told me, right? And people were surprised when I was getting FISBOs and expires, and they're like, "What?" What was like, you told me to do this, and why are you surprised, right? I didn't get it, but that was like part of my lesson too, you know. So then, you know, that point right there, I remember when I first got my check, I looked at Maria, I was like, and that was a FISBO, pay cash, 2 weeks. I was like, that's more than I've ever made in 30 days in my previous. Like, let's go, 100% committed.
Yep. Yep.
Committed. And Maria and I, obviously, that was like the beginning of her career. She also did some transactions, so right. But you know, it was like that excitement that Maria and I say, let's go. And you know, ever since, you know, we've had our numbers go up from 36 transactions together to, you know, 56 to 40 to 76 to 86 to over 100. And you know, ever since, you know, we've just always developed. We've been a sponge. We've been coachable. We're leaders who love to be led. I always say that we're leaders who want to be led. You know, I want to be led, but I know when I need to lead, right? And those are the people that we look for in our teams too, as well. So, obviously, as you grow in that space, and then you start bringing that many transactions, you start realizing some things. And you know, when Jose was talking about this, yeah, relationships start. You know, you start forgetting about the most important things in life when you start making good money, when you invest so much time. Because again, we went from working corporate world, but we just kept doing it in real estate for 3 years straight, guys. We worked 24/7,
Yes.
all the way from 6 in the morning all the way till 10 o'clock at night. And the most important relationship got forgotten, which is her and I. And you know, we still talk about this to this day. You know, it was a day on the couch, money in the bank, best feeling ever. Both of us are on our phone, and literally at the same time, we stopped and looked at each other and said, is this worth our relationship? Is this worth more than anything that we're doing?
Yes.
So at that moment, obviously, we started looking into other things from, you know, coaching, business coaching to, and obviously mine, a lot of different things. We went into what we call a deep dive into our soul to understand business, to understand ourselves, to
Hey,
understand our
Mo,
relationship.
was this about 3 years into you guys doing the journey on with you two? Is that what I heard you say? Like you guys were individually working husband wife team, and then 3 years into it, you guys are sitting on that couch and you're like, whoa.
Yes, yes, yes. And at that moment, I think that was the moment where, you know, we said there's more to life, there's more to this. And obviously that led into building a team because we started thinking about simplification, multiplication, leverage, expansion, and growth. But most importantly, we wanted our time back, you know,
Yes.
and that's literally where, you know, the team idea started coming around. And you know, we started, you know, kind of saying, okay, maybe we can bring people on, not only because we want to, or because we're in a place where we're doing transactions, or because we overflow with leads. Because yeah, we got all our leads too, you know. Guys, we were doing social media when social media wasn't what it is now. We were using iPhone, iMovie to make movies. Now everything's different, right? You know, videos. I used to pay $20 for a video. Now we're paying $500 for a 30-second reel. It doesn't make any sense to me anymore, right? So, but we were known as, you know, like people here would make fun of us, like, oh yeah, the social media girl, Maria, you know. It's like, we're like, yeah, that's what we do. But because, like Jose said, because of day one, and we did it from day one to now, that's the reason we get leads through Instagram, social media platforms, and all those things. It's because we focus on building a brand from day one, and social media was a part of that. But those leads, again, is 10 years of investment in people, education, entertainment, insight of who we are, what we are, and what we represent. Some people have followed us since day one, and they've seen our growth and expansion from Maria and I to, they know the story, right? Because we've always been so transparent. We've given people insights and giving people what we've done in our lives. So, you know, we're very grateful for that opportunity. So that's our story, guys.
Love it, brother. Thank you so much. A lot to unpack, a lot of lessons, a lot of golden nuggets in that story. Thank you so much for sharing. And you know, we already see some commonalities, right? It was a life event, right? Life event. It was time. It was an overflow of business. And thank you again for sharing your story, because it definitely gives people context. I think that when they're thinking, I'm like, wait, I'm sitting there. Am I ready for a team, right? And I would say, are you kind of experiencing those kind of things? That would be a key indicator. And also try to get ahead of it, right? Not to have to go through the pain to learn, right? And then be reactive, but to be proactive. So talk a little bit about, now you guys decide, all right, cool. I want to create leverage. I want to build it differently. talk a little about the structure, system, how the team initiated and the flow and how you grew it, and how long have you guys been running this team now?
Go for that.
So right after the third year, we started getting a lot of other agents asking us like, hey, can you take me under your wing and like, can you coach me? Can you teach me? So that's when we created a plan. So we created a 2-year team plan, and the agent will come in, be with us for 2 years. We would prepare them. So from there, they go out on their own. So we had a few of those, but the way we systemized the team is we really looked at what our strengths were as leaders. So Mo loves the coaching and developing part. I'm more of like the operations part. So we identify our strengths. And also he likes listings. I like buyers and new construction. So we went ahead and separated that. And he went all in that aspect, and then I went all in that aspect. So we like never clash in our roles. So that's how we structure it. We had a few teammates that graduated the 2 years. They went out on their own. Some agents, they're like, I just want to stay in the team. Like, I don't want to go anywhere. Like, I'm good here. So what we do since the beginning, we have a CRM, Commissions Inc. That's what we use. And basically all our agents have access to that platform. They get a website, all the leads are funneled through there. And that's basically it, right? Like the when it comes to systems.
Yeah.
So
And I guess for us it was very important to have a CRM system that we can overview everything about our operations, right? Not necessarily to have control, but to overview the process of every person that we took on our team. And obviously, back then CRMs were, they were not as, as effective as they are now, or as innovative, so we went and we got actually the best one at that moment, which was Commissions Inc. And we've had Commissions Inc. since, right? And it allows us to work efficiently. So obviously, simplification, right? From doing ads to leads to everything. We want to make sure that everything was like led into one funnel, into one system, so that way we can disperse the leads, but not just disperse the leads, but be able to follow the process of the actual lead itself, and be able to just kind of hold people accountable and things like that. So a lot of lessons learned, to be honest, guys. Like Maria said, right now, we had agents that we invited. Literally, guys, he just said it. We had a 2-year plan to kick them off our team.
Yeah.
Right. Literally, I remember like in 2 years, like Maria had like her when she graduated college or university, she got her bachelor's. We had her, what do you call it, her cap and gown. We saved it. I used to take that out. I took it out, and I'd be like, all right, man, 2 years. We used to put it on them, put it like graduation poppers. Bye, bro. Like, get off our office. See you later. And then they would just walk out and be like, oh, damn, I'm in the real world. Like, yeah, that's because that's how we structured at that point, right? Building a team day one it's a lot of lessons. You understand that, like Jose said, not everybody's going to look to stay in your team. It's a stepping stone, and if you can accept that, that's okay. They're going to leverage you as much as you're going to leverage them. However, though, if there's people that, that want to stay, then you also have to think about them. So that was a aha moment at that moment. So there's people that want to stay. Why are we kicking them out? Right? Yep. We had to go through that process too. Guys, we got to a point we dismantled like our entire team. We're like, all right, guys, you know what? Done.
And share about that. That was actually like my concluding question to you guys is like, if you guys had to restart, right, the team, you're leading right into that. So what would be those things that you would say, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently to build a team?
Yeah, I think when the team becomes a little stagnant, where like they're not producing or following the day-to-day coaching plan, I think it's time to move on. If that's either going solo with our organization or just not being part of our office. But at one point we ended up letting go of all our team, and it was just me and Mo for like 3 months, and we actually loved it, and our assistant. But
loved it.
Obviously, like we still had people coming and really asking for help. And I think that part of us of like giving, like there's new agents that have no idea what to do, and instead of reinventing, like they don't have to reinvent the wheel. If we could help somebody, like we want to. I think the struggle is when we go above and beyond to help and they're not following. I think that's where we get a little disappointed. But yeah, at one point we ended the team. It was just us. And we got asked to basically coach additional people, and then the team grew. I think we were up to like 16
Yeah.
16 agents at one point, and then again, like the people that were like not producing like slowly started falling off, you know. And for me, it's like having the core of like a good team that wants to learn, that wants to do the work, because there's a ton of work. Like Mo didn't highlight this in the beginning, but like in our first year, we closed 31 transactions. From there, it went up to like 50 transactions. So every year we scaled. And for the last 6 years, we've been doing over 110, like an average of 110 transactions. And that's with like a revolving turnover of like teammates. And so, you know, at some point it was just me and Mo basically producing, but it's we have to keep going. Like we're in it for the long term, a team or not, but having the team definitely does help, especially, you know, if you have a family, because we cannot handle all the clients ourselves. So like handing them off to somebody and helping them make an income, like, you know, it's a win-win for everyone.
So after that point, Leo, we did definitely set up team dynamics, right? I think that was important after that first team, and not to get too deep into like our own personal work, right? We definitely did a deep soul of who we were, and we understood that that team was operating from a different mindset, right? So in the 3-month hiatus of a team, you know, Maria and I did so much work within ourselves that we actually, as we built the second time, we definitely said, look, we got to have a team dynamics of what we want our team to look like and set clear standard and expectations for people to understand. And one of them was collaboration, right? But we really understood what collaboration meant. And this actually happened before we even joined EXP. And one of the reasons we joined EXP because collaboration was the strong work and the strong value. So it aligned with us, right? But collaborations with us, we make it clear with individuals that the collaboration is it's a two-way street, right? It's a two-way street. Like if I'm willing to collaborate with you to initiate, kick off, and continue your success as long as you stay engaged and collaborate back, right? And the word there that I like to say is there has to be a buy-in, right? The buy-in in the system, the process, the coaching, the development, the value proposition, the mission statement, right? The collaboration, and that's something that we're constantly, you know, reminding our team about. We're here collaborating, right? We're here. This is not a team agreement. This is a collaboration agreement, right? The next part is the connection. There has to be a connection between them and us, right? From being available, being resourceful. So again, if you're not going to be available for your team members, and again, this is what I mean. Not being a team leader is not for everybody, right? You have to be available. You have to be a resource to them. You have to be, because they're looking at you to fix every problem and every issue, right? So for us, you know, connection is very important for us to understand their goals, their systems, what they want to accomplish, right? Every single quarter we have one-on-one. So we're constantly always saying, okay, look, what is it that you want to accomplish? Where you're at, right? And that's how we keep them engaged. So the connection has to be there. The next part is obviously building a culture or an environment where people can have a better vision, have progress, and feel supported, right? And that part of the culture is accountability, self-responsibility, right? And we always say that it's part of the equation is me and part of the equation is you, and it's 50-50. I'm gonna give you the guides. I'm a guide. My job is to guide you and show you and share with you. Your job is to take action, right? And that comes with a lot of self-responsibility. And the last part is obviously the alignment part, right? Making sure that they understand how Maria and I operate. And I think that that was something that was missing in the first part. Our values, our standards, our expectations, right? Because Maria and I live by our values, standards, and expectations. So we need people who have the same values, who can build those values and have those same those standards and expectations, right? And when you put all those things together, right, you build a community. You build it's not just a team; it's a community. And you carry that into your database. You carry that into the actual community, into your tribe. And I think that that's for us. I become the 3 C's, right? The collaboration, connection, and culture to be able to create the community that we're looking to do. And that's really what we want to do, right? And in a community, everybody has a role, everybody has a task, everybody has something to bring. Yes, everybody has something to bring to the table. And whether it's not, maybe not doing listings yet, right? Maybe it's just showing property, that's okay. Be 100% at that. So we're always trying to make sure that we scale our agents to build better, to become better. We don't hold back, guys. You know, if you're willing to hold back, and as a leader, you think that, you know, you're here to do less work and make more money, you're wrong. You know, you're gonna have to still do a lot of things. and you're just taking more people to babysit and to help and to expand and grow. And just like our parents be like, hey, wake up, it's time to go to work, time to go to school, right? And I know Jose brought this up and said, hey, we're 1099, but you know what? That 1099 is for every other brokerage. You can go work at other brokerage, and you don't want to come in, that's up to you. However, though, you want to work with us at Home Expansion, our standards and expectation says you have to be here at these times. And yes, there's perks to being 1099. However, the standard expectation, if you want to grow and expand like you really say you do, then this is what you do. And again, like Maria says, sometimes people, they go through that process like, nah, guys, aka they call us, people say that we're a boot camp. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm okay with that.
That standard. You have
I'm
to
okay with that. But you know what? Boot camp or not, people are making money. Number one. Number two is if they do decide to leave, trust me, I know that they're using our system and process and the things that we taught them to actually get listings and do what they're doing.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm okay with that.
Thank you. A lot to unpack right there, man. I wish we had more time. I really appreciate, Mo, Maria, appreciate you guys sharing. Thank you so much. We're going to definitely get back and get some questions answered, but there was a lot of really valuable, powerful stuff there. So thank you so much once again. Let me go ahead and bring our next speaker up to the forefront here. Let me go ahead and 1 second. Ms. Rocio, I see you smiling. Let's go. Awesome. So let me add the spotlight. And I'm going to remove Mr. Moe and Maria. There we go. So our last speaker, our last mega team of the day, Ms. Rocio Hemocillo with the EYA team out of Des Moines. Welcome. Thank you so much for being on, my friend. I really appreciate you saying it. Yes, let's start off with the story. I want to hear, the EYA story. And, obviously I know you guys really well, but go ahead and start there.
Yes, no, thank you so much, Leo, for having us on and offering us to speak on this. EYA started a little differently than what the home expansion and the Ojeda team started. I'm going to share a little bit of detail prior to that because that's going to help paint the story and understanding of how we got to where we are. So I was in the corporate world. I was looking to climb up the corporate ladder. I was working tons of hours. Then at the end of the day, just like most of us, we're like, there's a better way to do this. And I was working so many hours for someone else that I thought if I worked that hard for myself, what possibilities could open up? So I went all into real estate, and I'm an athlete. I'm a competitor. I love working with others and being on a team. So I immediately knew if I want to be the best, I need to join the best. So there was a team, and I immediately joined that team. I didn't interview anyone. I talked to no one. I just went all in. And I remember sitting down with my family, and they're like, why are you joining a team? Just do it yourself. Like, you got it. You have the skills. You have everything to do. And it was just more about knowing myself and who I was. And I know that when I'm surrounded by others, I can elevate myself to be better if they're the right people around you. Long story short, my first year, it was really hard. We almost lost our house. And I ended up helping, I believe, 23 families that year. That first year, I was like, what the hell am I doing? I had no idea. The second year, though, I helped 52 families. And the third year, I ended up helping about 63 or so. And I kept growing and growing each year. And it was when they were staying there, they were working all day, 24 hours. That's exactly what my life looked like. There was literally, from the moment I woke up to went to sleep, it was all real estate. And I was missing out so much time with my family. It was a sacrifice, and they knew it, and they were all on board with it. But it was an unintentional. I knew it would hurt, but I didn't know how much time it would take away from those that I really loved. So I knew I had to do something different and I wanted to build something that would support the lifestyle that I wanted. So from there, I decided, I'm like, you know what? This team is great, but it's not great for how I want to live my life and grow my family as a Latina woman. And also as a mom and an entrepreneur. So I said, you know what? I'm like, what if I start my own team and start growing it the way that I saw that I would want to grow it and lead it? Again, I think it's so much fun doing it together with someone else. So I reached out to a couple of my colleagues who were on the same team. And we've always been the top producers. We were coaching others on that team already. And I'm like, y'all, what if we just collaborate and put our resources together to really grow something bigger outside of ourselves? And we were all experiencing something similar within our own lifestyle. that team didn't have the fit that we needed. So we're like, you know what, let's at least for now start it. We'll collaborate together. Collaboration was not a thing that we were seeing in the Midwest. This is a new thing. There's still very much so of, hey, like what's mine is mine. I'm not going to share what I'm doing over here, etc. And so this was the first time I think we saw collaboration at a high level in the state of Iowa, especially within the Latino community. Yes, there's a little bit of Latinos here in Iowa. We sí existimos, estamos aquí, but we're a little bit behind in terms of what's going on in the West Coast and the East Coast. That alone, I think, signified the start in our state of what collaboration could look like amongst others. So we started sharing resources and just the support and the value to one another. That was 2 years ago in September. We launched it, we announced it, and that first year together, we helped about 90 families within a couple of months just through social media, people that were supporting us. We started getting flooded with messages from other people saying, hey, can we join your team? Hey, can we join your team? We're like, shit, that's not what the intention was. The intention was really to support one another ourselves and really grow this lifestyle that we wanted. So we literally had to stop and think, do we really want this? Do we really, we know that we're going to make so much more money doing this on our own, going on by ourselves. And we knew that if we were to open it up to a team, we were taking the responsibility of someone else's livelihood and the food that they need to provide to their family. So we needed to get better as leaders as well. Well, we're here today, so we said yes, and we took the plunge, and that quickly led to a team of 3 that within a year and a half, we were at a team of 14.
Wow.
We did not do any active recruiting. We didn't know anything. And I feel like we probably experienced 5 years of business in like a year and a half. Grew some gray hairs from it, but it's been so amazing. And what we've learned along the ways is the first thing I would tell you guys, if you're thinking about building a team or doing a team, is like, what is your purpose of it? Why are you going to build it? Because I'm going to tell you, if it's for money, you don't want to do it this way. It's going to take you time, energy, and resources to get to that point to where you're doing that. It's really to lead others and to help and make a broader impact and share, at least for me, the knowledge that I have to pass it on to someone else, because I got here because of other people pouring into me, and I believe in passing that forward. So anyways, if you really want to build a team, define what is a high performing team look like to you, because it looks like different to everyone. Some people are like, hey, I just want more time back to be spent with my family. Definitely what I felt there. Some others might say, well, hey, I want to go from 100,000 to 250,000. Okay, great. Then build it around that. But be so specific that you know what you're building towards, because otherwise you start building and building and building, and it gets to your aim is not there and you go nowhere fast. And that's unfortunately what kind of happened to us. We were growing at a super speed and we couldn't keep up, and we were not being super focused and intentional with who we were hiring and bringing on. We thought, hey, they have similar aspirations. Cool, let's do this. But we were not truly making decisions based on our values. So that's the second thing I would like to share with y'all. If you're going to build a team, make sure you create your values and you make all decisions based on that. And as soon as you see that those values do not match, you need to let it go. Yes. And that's something that I'm learning as a leader, is to not put that emotion tied to the person because of their potential or because I think they have more. It's honoring what your team looks like, what your standard is. And I think that's what Moe and Maria were talking about earlier, is getting very clear to what you want. And if, hey, they don't align, it's okay. So now today we're actually at a team of 9, 8 agents and 1 operations. We have, I would say, we've learned so much. And the last thing I want to leave, because I know we have a couple minutes left, is just inspect what you expect. Set high expectations, set those standards, and make sure it's clearly articulated to your agents and to your team. We thought they knew because we know, well, they know. No, people need reminded. And so it's consistently putting the vision, putting the mission in front of your agents, and also modeling the way, leading it, so that they can also follow in your footsteps.
I love it.
Yeah.
Powerful, very powerful, very concise, and very different, right? Well, slightly different, right, from everybody else's story. And I love your share because it gives everybody a little bit of context. It's not just a one one size fits all with team, right? Everybody has different starting points, and it's very, very inspiring. Thank you for that. And we do have a couple more minutes. I do want to ask you another question, right? If you're again restarting, knowing what you know now, what are the things that you're doing specifically, and what would you do differently this time?
That's like everything, Leo. No, I understand with the home expansion team when they're like, let's just reset. At least that's how it kind of felt for us. I would just say, you have to be so clear as to why you're building it and what you are going towards, your aim. And with us, our team, what's really unique and cool is there's 3 of us. Ella is spelled with 3 L's to represent each of the co-founders. So I am not doing this on my own. And I think that's one of the keys in our superpowers, our competitive advantage against everyone else, and why we're growing so fast is because of that. But y'all, like I said, that, and don't say yes to everyone. It is a privilege to be on your team and knowing your worth and your value for that. I think I'm growing, I'm letting things go of like not caring what other people think, or they'll be like, oh, they're too hard, or they're too this. Or I think I related so much with Mo when he was like, oh, it's like a boot camp. Like, cool. If
Yeah.
that's what you think, but we know what works and we're here to make you successful. And if you want to be successful, we will help you do that. So the other thing is just inspecting what you expect. That's what we said. We have a 61 daily success habits. Basically, we have our agents focus on their top 20%, which are lead generating activities. We track all of that, and then we coach to our values and based around what they're actually doing to make sure they're moving ahead. And then just make sure you tie back what their goals are to the team vision. If it doesn't, they'll likely leave, or you're not thinking big enough for them to stay on your team.
Yes. Big round of applause for that. Very well said. Very well said. Very well said. Thank you so much, Ms. Rocio. Really appreciate you sharing all those valuable golden nuggets. I just want to bring up everybody to the forefront again. I'm going to bring up Mr. Jose, Ms. Maria, and Mo, and I'm just going to add you guys as spotlights. Well, first of all, I just wanted to acknowledge you guys for being amazing, tremendous leaders. I definitely understand that building a team is it could be a process, and very simply said. So I acknowledge you for your leadership. I acknowledge you for your courage, and thank you for sharing all these valuable nuggets, because it's been very inspiring for me, and I'm sure that everybody else is listening today got tremendous amount of value. So, guys, if you don't follow these amazing individuals, make sure that you guys give them a follow. I would say drop your IGs again here on the chat. Make sure that you guys connect with them offline. We are a minute away, but anything else that we want to share before, or any last questions before we wrap up, I think this would be the opportunity to do so. We definitely have about a minute here, but thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for sharing these valuable nuggets. A lot of commonalities, right? Collaboration, standards, structure, really holding that line accountable. So any questions that you guys have? If you guys don't have any questions, totally cool. Oh, there we go. Berenice. I have a question, my friend. Go for it.
It's Brenda. That's my middle name.
Oh,
It's embarrassing.
it's Brenda. I didn't even see you on the camera.
I'm like, why is Apple giving everybody my middle name for? But I do have a quick question. And a lot of the nuggets that you guys all gave is amazing. But how do you guys start your team members? I know some of you talked about graduation and stuff like that. But how do you guys start with the splits, or what does that consist of? Is it a case-by-case scenario? What does that look like?
All right, who wants to tackle that? Or you guys want to chime in? I'm pretty sure everybody's just slightly different, right? So maybe you guys want to chime into that?
Yeah. I'll go ahead. And so the first 3 agents are at a 50-50. And part of the split actually goes to the mentor that we have on the team. So there's a designated mentor that helps them get to the first 3 transactions, and then they get graduated to a 75-25 split after that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Ours is also a 50-50 split. However, for new coming agents, we're going to be doing a tiered system where it incentivizes, they get a higher split basically on more transactions that they do per month.
Perfect. Love that.
I'll be honest with you guys, we've done a tier system. We actually just got away from it. And the only reason is obviously we want to get people paid. We want people to get paid. However, though, you know, we've constantly are always in understanding the value, right? The value proposition. And the more and more that we understand teams, the more that we understand the power of what we bring to the table, right? Maria and I paid our fair shares of splits. You know, we paid over $100,000 to brokerages, right? And we don't regret it one bit because we've learned, we've understood negatively, possibly everything, right? So with that same intention, you know, for us, our splits is all about based on what we're willing to put in. Now, if you're not willing to be the resource, collaborate, you know, give them opportunities to do that, then just know that then yeah, the split should be higher. I'm the one, I'll be the first one to say that. You know, but if you put a lot of work and you're there and you're putting deals together, because I feel like that's as a team lead, your expertise not necessarily just comes from giving them opportunities because you do master that. It's more on how you can keep and put deals together, right? That's where the experience for us at least comes, and also the connection of putting deals together sometimes. Because your leverage, your brand for us, our brand is based out of not Maria and Moe anymore. Our brand is a brand that people can use. It's like, you know, if you work for Nike, you don't say I work for a shoe store. No, you're gonna tell people I work for Nike. Nike's right. So for us, home expansion is a brand. And guys, we changed that from the Rosales real estate team that we were for years. It was just Maria and I too. So we wanted to give something that people can attach to. So the home expansion is a brand that's also going to give you leverage as an agent with us. So the split for us has to do a lot more with the value proposition, the mission statement, and what what Maria and I as leaders of our office are going to do and how we're going to put it together. So, you know, we're anywhere from 50-50, 60-70, 70-80, right? Depending on the collaboration, loyalty of the
70, 30,
agent,
80, 20.
right? So we get people up to 80-20 as well, right? Our experienced agents, I mean, we have to do less, right? But yeah, you know, I think that for new agents, you know, you're going to put a lot of work, you know, and even though you think they like, well, I want to help them and give them more money. Just know that, you know, your time is valuable. Time is precious. And what you're bringing to the table is not your time, but also your experience and your knowledge. So think about those when you're putting structures together.
I want to add to that, like just saying, you know, you've given 100 or hundreds of thousands to the broker before even tripping about a split. Same here. And when I feel like some agents have been entitled for, because I've heard this tons of times, and some of the agents left because I did not increase the split. And I'm like, dude, you've done 3 transactions, bro. I left after doing, I think, 100 and something transactions from my previous broker. I was like, then, you know, I'm actually grateful those people left because they didn't see the value, and you're going to be pouring more to someone that's either going to take and run in the completely different direction, like super quick, or just someone that you're not going to see eye to eye to. But I'm like, man, you know, if only they really, and again, that's why we're in the position that we're in, is because we put in the fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I love to have the conversation when agents, experienced agents say, hey Moses, I want to talk about the compensation. Let's go. Maria and I track everything, right? So I know their business. The thing about it is I know our business, Maria and I know our business like the back of our head, right? And guess what? I know the business of my agents like the back. I know it better than they do. So literally, guys, I sit and I review and I say, okay, they want to have a conversation. Perfect. Because you feel it, you know. I look at it, say, okay, awesome. Look, 95% of your business came from the team concept. And what is a team concept? It's leads from open houses, from our listings that you provide, the opportunities from leads online, you know, everything, right? Me showing up to your listing presentation for you and helping you out. That just tells me that you're still need more structure. So you're not bringing anything to the table yet. However, though, when those tables turn around and now you're bringing 95% of the business, you know what? Now you're right. Now I got to sit down with you and understand your position. And to keep you, I got to make sure that right. So yes, I'm very willing to do that. But these numbers have to make sense. Like if you're still, again, there's nothing wrong, right? That's the whole concept of a team, is that you get to leverage a team to give you opportunities to gain experience, to build a resume. But we can't forget these. And people forget that sometimes. You cannot forget that the team concept gives you an opportunity to experience, talk, and operate in real estate faster than if you were to go do it on your own. And we all know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Percent. Very well said. Very well said. So, guys, very powerful conversation. Once again, we're officially 6 minutes over time. Thank you once again for tuning in to this powerful conversation. If you guys do have additional questions, make sure you guys connect with these guys on social media. And I'm sure that they will be more than happy to answer any questions additional to that. And yes, the recording will be sent out after the fact. But again, thank you guys so much for your time today. You guys shared a lot of really valuable information. God bless each and every single one of you. And let's create a great day. See you guys later.
Leo, let's create a part 2 to this, man.
Let's do it. I know there's
part 2 to this, for sure.
I feel like a lot of the foundational stuff was laid out. So let's get it like more granular in the next one. Let's definitely
Create a part 2 on this, yeah.
Amazing. Let's do it again.
Alrighty, guys. See
Bye,
ya.
y'all.
Thank you. Alrighty.